That's funny. You got his professor glass. How you took your professor glasses off?
They're only for reading.
I am a professor.
I am professor. Now, what I want to tell you guys today,
the ism of the fascism of the capitalism of the
of the third trimester of the tyranny
of the Sagittarius.
Hey, cut the joke.
We already recording, by the way. So this is the
Mother's House podcast. Right.
And we got a special guest here. I'm Deshaun. And we have a special guest. My brother's in the building.
What's going on, party people?
Ofoon Maja.
Ofoon Maja. So we're going to get into this topic today, man.
Talking about
not even a topic. We're just having a discussion on what's really happening out here in the world today. It's global. You know, the death of Breonna Taylor, the death of George Floyd, what's his name? Ahmad Aubrey?
Yeah.
Ahmad Aubrey and many others. You know what I'm saying? It's been going on for so long. And it seemed like revolution. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like rebellion, uprising is just going all outdoor, but also not only a true revolution, black people are really fighting. You also have anarchists trying to take over and hijack some of the protests. You know what I'm saying? So we better have a real deep discussion on this. Try to co-opt the message.
Right.
We better have a real deep discussion about this, and let's just get right into it. So what y'all feelings, man? How y'all feeling out here?
When I first saw it, when I first saw the protest, I just wasn't surprised because I just knew people was going to protest. When I first saw all of the protests, I was surprised by the number of white people. And then I was surprised how people was tearing stuff up. It kind of took me by surprise at first, because usually when they protest, well, at least in Atlanta, they don't really tear stuff up. They just kind of protest. And then when they started revealing about how other people are involved in it, and when you just kind of saw the demographic of people, it just looked like a different kind of protest. So I just thought it was more to the story than just like your average, protest. That's how I felt. Mm-hmm.
What you think, Marty? Ofoon Maja?
What do I think about the protest or the situation, or
overall, just the overall things, everything that's going on with the protest, with the whole energy that's out here? What you feel like, overall, in a short summary?
I feel this is a continuation of the times we living in, and the theme that 2020 has been on since January 1st, 2020, of change and upheaval. And it's another, who would have thought that 3 months after COVID-19, after something, and during COVID-19, we were saying this is something that we've never experienced in history. This is a reset. This is changing. There's a new norm. And 3 months later, we got a whole different event, and we're saying those same things. We've never seen anything like this before. This is the new norm. It's changing things. Things are never going to be the same. And today marks a 6-month period of 2020, and it's just it's a lot of upheaval. What's going on right now? It's a lot of change in times. You got a part, just like with COVID-19. You got a part that's orchestrated, and then you got a part that's divine.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like for me, I was just going to say real quick. For me, after seeing, I didn't expect it to get to the point where cities are burning and everything. But I'm not surprised that the outcome is probably long overdue. I'm pretty sure that seeing the perfect storm from the COVID-19, everybody wearing a mask, you know what I'm saying, and just giving people the perfect opportunity to go out there to to voice out their opinions, but at the same time, COVID-19 is still out here. You know, we still got to be safe out there. But frustration, this tell you how serious racism is. We're risking our lives and trying to save our lives. You know what I'm saying? And that tells so many numbers of what on so many different levels of what we dealing as Black people here in America. And I think the rage is real, the anger, the fury is real. But I think you got other factors, other people who are trying to misuse that anger and reshape the focus on certain different narratives. So we got to be careful and mindful of those people. So I love seeing Black men and Black women, you know, stepping up to these young anarchists, white people, protesters, a whole bunch of different folks who trying to co-opt the narrative, even to the media, because the media has to play a big role in this.
Right. What do y'all think people are trying to gain from co-opting the narrative, or, you know, just using the energy of Black people like they do often actually to try to push their own agenda? Like, what agenda do you think these other groups have or can benefit from by using Black people?
$1 million question. That's what I'm trying to figure out. On one level, you see the, you know, it's to cause further disruption. On another level is, you know, anarchists. If this is truly, some of this is truly an anarchist movement. Anarchists' whole thing is that they want to cause anarchy. So, and within that anarchy, they can other agendas can be pushed. But what are those other agendas, and exactly who's behind the anarchists?
Right.
And then you have and you have a lot of people get energy from we're like the power booster, the battery of humanity. And by that I mean people get energized off of Black pain, off of Black hurt, off of Black joy, off of just off of Black culture. It like that energizes a lot of people. And so that's a part of it too. But the overall, it seems like this could be about a possible 5 to 10 different agendas.
Right.
Maybe it's probably way more than that that's going on. That really will be kind of hard for you to pinpoint because they're secret agendas.
Right. And everything seems so organized. You know, all of a sudden it's like everyone almost at the same time began to have these protests. And it was so many different looking people, and the word got out so fast, you know. So I was just, it almost seemed like they were waiting for the perfect opportunity to do this.
I think that, you know, you got a lot of people that probably like anarchists, and also, you know, Black people. People are just frustrated with the police, period. You know, people don't like the police. Police have been brutalizing and killing Black people for centuries, you know, since the slave patrols. You know what I'm saying? That's where their origins come from. So, you know, having this many white people on our side, kind of, sometimes you want to like look at it and be like side-eyed. And sometimes you really kind of do, because you don't know what they really on. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, you gotta look at everybody's side eye.
Yeah, because you see so many people
on our side. Well, let's identify some of the different moving parts. Okay, you got the protesters, the people who are really fed up with the injustices, that's really fed up with the murders, that's really fed up with the you know, all of the crazy, all of the just injustice in general.
Right.
And specifically police brutality and police murdering and killing, and them getting away with it and nothing happening. You got those people. Then you have and then I say Black, we have the Black people, the Black people that are protesters. Then you have protesters who are sympathetic to the cause, who are they sit back, they see that just on a humanity scale, everybody should sympathize with that because it's wrong.
It's wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Murder in the streets, kneeling the life out of a human being's neck for 10 minutes while he's screaming out for his mother and his past loved ones. Everybody should, if you got a heart, if you're a human, you should feel that. So that should be everybody, but it's not the case. So you have those people. And then, and I'll group them in with just the protesters. And then after the protesters, it is an element. Some people say that Antifa is made up. Some people say it's not, but it is an element of anarchists in there. You have the anarchists in there. And then within that, you got to talk about the policemen and their part in it. And then you have people that are not police that's there call themselves supporting the police. So you got people who are like fake policemen there. Then you have people then you got people that's just there, that's opportunist.
They want to be in the moment, right?
They want Instagram filters.
Like I'm pretty sure the same
from the people.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. You have the people who want to be in the moment, and then within each of those different people, you got different categories. You got people that want to be in the moment because this is a moment in history. You got people that want to be in the moment because they want to get their Instagram game up. You got people that want to be in the moment because they want to cash in on if they bust a window, they can run in there and grab something. And you got people that want to be in the moment on the police side that want to come in and call themselves super cops, or if they get a chance to kill somebody. You got them in there. It's you got a lot of moving parts in all of this.
A lot of factors, yeah. Man, we're gonna let that breathe right there, because when you think about what's going on and how all these different factors come in together, the message is like it's not just nationwide. It's starting to become a global thing. People in Hong Kong, people in London.
It's global.
It's global. And this is the first time I ever see anything of a black man's life or black people's life going global like that. You dig what I'm saying?
Even
of course,
the
we're
Amish
global.
came out, allegedly.
And it's social media. Now, mind you, all the things leading up to this, from the Mike Brown, really from Rodney King on down. Really from further than that. Really from when they first started in the 60s, when they first had cameras on our ancestors and elders who was fighting during the civil rights movement, when they were sicking dogs.
Yeah.
That made the racism in the United States and the injustice, that made it a global movement. They always talk about how when they started, they didn't realize that's why they censor stuff now, because they didn't realize how impactful people seeing that is. So they started censoring stuff after that because they didn't want to see it. And then Rodney King, because when Rodney King came in the mix, it so happened to be caught. Nobody, right. But and phones wasn't out yet.
That was a camcorder, right?
So between the civil rights movement up until Rodney King, that's like the 60s up until the 90s. It's still been a lot of police brutality going on. People was thinking black people was lying. And then when they saw Rodney King, they said, oh man, they got something. And they still was kind of like, the Rodney King incident. And remember, there was a riot after Rodney King.
No,
that was a protest. Right. I apologize if I said riot, but it was a protest, uprising in LA, and that was a pretty major one. That was serious. So and these conditions, and what's so crazy is that these conditions, they do a little thing where they'll get better for maybe about 2 years or so. Then they just get worse. It seems like these white fragilists, because I refuse to call them anything else, these old punk-ass white boys and white women, excuse my language, who those that have these superiority, they have these inferiority complexes. It seems like they go and regroup
Mm-hmm.
Come back even more racist than what they was before. And then what happens is that the institutions become more racist, and they start putting and another thing that's happened is over all this period of time is that the racists, like the ones that have, you know, they like really are not just racist, like have a bias or prejudice, but are part of some kind of organization or group to push a racial or a racist agenda. A lot of them joined the police department throughout this time.
Yeah.
A lot of them have been joining the police department over the years.
Right.
And then around the Reagan time, the policies become more in their favor. And so now and then cell phones hit the scene, and they start catching all this stuff. So Mike Brown up until now, it's been like a whole bunch of stuff going on. And then it's so many.
Trayvon Martin? Was Trayvon Martin before Mike Brown?
Yeah, he was before Mike Brown. Trayvon Martin, then you have Jenna Six. What happened?
It's a lot. Yeah, it's something like all the time.
So it's not like this is not. That's why this rage is real, and this is not some ice. You know, this is not.
It's not isolated. It's not just about George Brown. And
that's why the COVID-19 created the perfect storm for all this to go down. And so,
because you be at home with your family and you see how valued your family is. You dig what I'm saying? You see how valued that is.
People just have time on their hands. A lot of people not working. People just got time on their hands and just looking at things. And social media is getting their weight up, so to speak, as far as content that they have. I mean, it's just a lot of content of all kind of things, including police brutality. And then when COVID-19 sat everybody down for a minute, and then it seemed like just as soon as they got a chance they open things back up again. Right. Police
it's supposed to open it.
Right. It's like they come back even harder.
Right.
So because it was kind of when COVID-19 hit, everybody was on to be safe, and we kind of together, we looking out for that fake we are an American, all that old bull job. And then it's like as soon as they got a chance, it opened. They just went berserk. They went back to their old selves.
Mm-hmm.
And you follow the leadership. The president of the United States is the de facto leader of. Well, he is the leader of the military and the de facto leader of police.
Right.
That's what he says goes. Even if they like him or not, he sets the precedent for how they act. And he basically, he put another battery in their back. Like if it was, he said that the Minnesota mayor was crazy. Was weak. He said that they need to get tougher on the protesters, and everybody know when they start looting, start shooting. So he's, and they got all this, and then in the back of all of that, they have radio. They have the radio. What do they call it? With Rush Limbaugh and all them, that conservative talk radio.
Yeah.
And that is who before. That's how Trump got elected. That has been, and this has been a long time. Listen to Rush Limbaugh. Listen to Sean Hannity. All you gotta listen to the radio show for 5 minutes, and you will understand this craziness. Why it's been a surge in not only racism, but a surge in them jumping on attacking black people, and and a lot of the policemen listen to that. So you got all this going on. Bam, all this happening, this, that, and other, and then during all this time, those anarchist movements, those are worldwide too.
Yeah, they are.
Anarchists are worldwide, so they look for problems, they look for situations. That's why they seem so organized, because that's what they do. They look for a situation, so they have a MO, they got a template of how they do things, and one of their things is they're gonna burn up some cars. They're going to smash some windows. They're going to do this. This is the thing that I don't know, in the missing link when it comes to that, is that who are they connected with? Are they connected
funding
with the police?
Who's funding them? Right.
Everybody say George Soros. He probably is, but at the same time,
he's funding Black Lives Matter.
They're things like they'll have identifiers on, and the police don't bother with them. Mm-hmm. So if the police not bothering with them because they got an identifier on, so they down with the police.
Yeah.
So if the police makes you think one of their agendas would have to be, this is how you get sympathy from the people because you make it seem like, oh, look at these people acting so crazy, and the police just out there trying to help them, but it's really the people that's acting crazy, because that's how they always been deflecting the narrative anyway. Like people upset and protest because of police brutality, somebody getting killed in the streets, and then they'll deflect it. They'll end up deflecting it and making it seem like they're not rioting and busting down, tearing up this property is not reflective of the true cause that we're doing this. This is crazy, blah blah. And the people and the sympathy of the public starts to go towards the police. This has been. Then you'll get some handkerchief head Negro or somebody that's some celebrity that think they got some clout to come out and start fussing at and chastising protesters.
I was just about to ask about that.
It doesn't seem like it's going down that easy. Them being because of social media and because we've been sitting down and because we have lost trust. We have lost the trust of the media. We understand it's corporate media. Everybody knows that now. They know because you witnessed during COVID-19 them pumping lies and not only lies but propaganda and just this whole doom every day, and everybody kind of got hip to it, so they don't trust the media no more. So you can't switch the narrative to, oh, these people is just crazy. Now it's like the people is like, no, we got some more video to show that there's some other stuff going on too. So you got a lot of stuff happening right now, a lot. So much. Me personally, after taking in information, this, that, and other. It's too much to focus on, well, who's causing what? Who's doing this? I try to focus on what's the higher cause, what's the divine, because it is a divine, just like in the COVID-19, it's something that I know that they didn't plan or put together that makes me show that it has to, that really is in our favor. When I say our favor, the people's favor, and how time is shifting and the tables are turning and power is changing hands. So that's the part that I try to focus with, because it's on the mundane level, it's just way too many moving parts. And you don't know what is what, where it's coming from, it's just a lot of stuff happening.
You go crazy trying to figure it out.
Yeah. And you end up just digging in a bottomless pit and don't know which way you're looking at.
It's like 1,000 different rabbit holes you can go down.
Rabbit holes.
Right. It ain't nothing but all night just watching YouTube.
You just keep on digging. You'll go one for one. I mean, you can. It's good to kind of look at the information and kind of assess it and try to put it all together. But at the same time, if you can look at the information and be like, and can assess from that and say, well, you know what? You don't know what to tell is the truth. So if you can just assess that, is good. But I think it's a few things that, knowing that the rage is real, Black people are fed up, and there are counterintelligence within these groups. And
all the groups, even the
within every group on both sides. But the rage is real, and this is causing the needle has been pushed up a little bit. This causing, I think when within the next couple of weeks or so, when all this kind of dies down, if they continue like just how they going hardcore killing Black people, I honestly think that this may change it, because in the back of their minds now they're going to be like, this could cause a riot. We don't really, and it's. And this can cause, and it's
will destroy businesses and money.
It'll start to hit them in the pocket.
Because a lot of corporate companies and stuff like that are releasing like Black Lives Matter statements and stuff now, like from Target to Netflix. You know, everybody's Black Lives Matter now. They like pro Black Lives Matter now.
You know,
and
go ahead, Marty.
And that whole and just the whole all of these police assassinations or killings or whatever you want to call it, murders, have been terrible. But this particular one was, I mean,
horrific.
It was horrific. I mean, you can't be no. It
was a slow death. It wasn't even a shooting.
That was televised.
Yeah.
A slow death that was televised.
Right.
I mean, you don't get no worse than that. You talk about hangings. You talking about public hangings, publicly. You can't too much get no worse than that. That's and so I think you have to be effective. If you're a human being, you have to be. But worldwide, people are saying stuff. So not when I say people, not just protesters, but like governments and
what's going on with the black people in America?
Yeah. Oh no, they saying what's going on with the white people in America.
Yeah, with the white people, right?
That's what they're saying. They say they're like they and if they say anything about black people, they're saying why they didn't been fight back. But they are. But believe me, when they talk about the being on our side, more people are on our side. They're not so much on our side. They're just on the side of right.
Well, I was on the side of right. Yeah, I was just about to say that.
If you had a picture of somebody kicking a little baby or kicking some old lady down some stairs or something, you're not gonna have people that be. Some people gonna be on the baby side, and some people gonna be on the person that kicked them side. Everybody's gonna be on the baby side because they know it's wrong. That's the right side to be on. And over the years they try to frame it like you on the police side. Oh yeah, I understand the police. They got a tough job. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, he did look kind of suspicious. He was being sort of aggressive. You can't look at that and say stuff like that.
No.
It's like you on the baby that they just kicked the baby in the head side. Are you on the it's like some people saying, well, that baby was kind of crying real loud.
He was just whining so much, you know.
Whining. I can understand it a little. You can't
be aggressive.
Baby aggressive.
You can't wiggle around like they usually do, which was just them standing on lies anyway. And because they've done that so long, it has blown up in their face.
Age of the Aquarius.
All these contradictions. You can't say I stand on this and I stand on that. This the land of the free, this the land of the brave. Or I got these set of laws that we fight and do all this stuff for, and this makes our country great, but it only applies for this set of people.
Right. And only a certain set of people get to experience full citizenship.
And they keep it a buck. This is only happening to black people, in particular black men.
Right.
But this is only happening. Not even people of color. Really, I don't see that it's happening to. If it's happening to somebody of a. Not saying that is like say if it's happened to. If it happened to 100 people, just a real basic number. If it was 100 police killings, period, 90 of them gonna be black people.
Right. I said it ain't people of color.
Black men, 90 will be black people, and the other 5 will be Asian. And I mean, it's just, and it's been.
I think it's all correlated, like from like jail, how most of the people in jail, the inmates are black, to like most of the people get arrested for shit are black. Like it's all related. We're targeted.
And all this is well documented. They've been all the studies from how even in school they say how black children are disciplined harder than white children.
Right.
Man, it goes back to slavery, right?
Yeah. It all goes back to slavery.
All of this go back to slavery.
When it comes to the history of the United States and black people, it's slavery. You can pretty much put slavery is going to be in there in some way, shape, or form.
Right. We can't escape. But
so it's a lot. It's just a lot.
Right. I want to talk about, because we have 9 more minutes. So I wanted us to talk more about the spiritual side of everything that's going on. Like, I remember we had a podcast earlier this year at the beginning of the COVID thing about how things are resetting and reshifting. Do you think this is still evidence of everything kind of shifting?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what does this even represent? Is this like a war? Like, what does this symbolize?
This represents one, our ancestors, warrior ancestors being reawakened. It's recognizing injustices that have been happening they're about to be even out. It represents quote unquote karma. It represents a shift in power, and it represents power going back to the spiritual, because a lot of the power that when we think of power on earth, a lot of what's going on in this period, we associate it with money.
Yeah.
Some kind of physical thing, wars, or not wars, but arms and tanks and guns and all that kind of stuff. And that kind of stuff is not, and it's an imbalance between the physical and the spiritual. But it's just a major shift of power going on right now, and ancestral power coming back, and people tap and not only that, and that's another thing. Don't think it's Western Europeans, or the Western world against the Roman Empire. Up until now, that's basically Europeans. When you can think of the West, that's where all that comes from. It's anti-nature. It goes against nature. One of their biggest philosophies is that they fight nature. They you got to conquer nature. You got to conquer, they be saying stuff like you got to fight the sun and all kind. You got to fight against it. Their approach is not to work with nature, it's to go against it. That's one of their that's one of their philosophies. It's called, I can't think of the name of it, but the whole concept of it is that nature is the enemy, and they got to conquer it and fight against it.
Like anti-nature, almost.
They anti-nature, and black people, being that we are the original men and women, we represent nature. So the physical manifestation or the manifestation of their fight against nature turns out to be their fight against us because of what we represent. And so it turns into a whole, you can have people as slaves, and you take yourself out morally from that. You can have a 500 legacy of chattel slavery, which is a little different from other forms of slavery. When people get to hitting you with that, everybody had slaves, blah 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 blah.
I hate when people say that.
The chattel slavery.
But the chattel slavery is a little different.
Yeah.
It was other forms of slavery where you can work your way through. You can work your way in society. You can work your way out of it. Yeah, and your children were not, if they were born, they were not slaves.
Your children wasn't slaves. And your children were the slaves.
If it was a child that was born, they were not slaves. If it was a child that was born into that community, they were members of the community. They weren't slaves. So that's a whole nother topic. But this is the spiritual part. The spiritual part is that nature is if you poison the rivers, if you you putting poisons in the earth, you putting all these pesticides and stuff. I mean, you attack the earth. The earth gonna fight back.
Yeah, right. Naturally, the universe will fight back.
The universe is gonna fight back when you put a bunch of. Just think of the messages that you're putting out in the universe when you say, I believe in this, that, and that for me, but not for them. I believe in freedom freedom of speech, but if you say something I don't like, I'm a kid. I believe in freedom because the protesters are out. One of the in the Constitution, it talks about the right to protest. That's written in the Constitution.
It's written in the Constitution.
If you're protesting about something that we don't like, we are going to destroy it. See, those are major contradictions. And when you continually put out major contradictions, not only on a personal level, but on a nationwide level, on a continental level, what do you think when those? What do you think the universe is going to bring back to you? This is the spiritual part. Well, what are you going to get back from it?
Yeah.
If when you do good things and you carry yourself and you have good energy and you attract good people around you. I think all of us here knows for a fact that happens. When you have positive thoughts, you attract positive people around you. When you have negative thoughts, what's going to happen? When you have
negative energy coming to you.
When you have contradictory thoughts, what's going to happen? As a people, as an individual, but you have a whole nation of people that their whole government and everything is built on contradictions that they do every day, all day long. You have a whole profession of people, lawyers, not all lawyers, but you got lawyers. Their whole thing is to find a lie, is to find a loophole in something that so they can stand on a lie. They got a whole profession of people, and then and some of these people in these professions that don't have morals, that don't stand on any type of morals, are some of the major professions in the United States.
Right. We ain't gonna even get on healthcare. That would be like a whole nother podcast, right?
You don't even want to get in, but that's a part of that's the spiritual part what's happening, because you done did all this and now it's time to even all this stuff out now. It's time to even all this stuff out now. And people are, at one time they was continually getting away with it because of ignorance. People are not as ignorant as they used to be. At one time, people are starting to get their courage back, because a lot of reasons we haven't done the things we're supposed to do is because of fear. And I think we starting to get our because all the stuff that's going on, our fear is starting to subside, because it's like, well, what else could there be? And we're starting to see it's a different paradigm. It don't have to be the whole paradigm of, I got to get up at this time. I got to go to work. I'm going to work until school. I'm going to retire. But all the people that you're working for have
start being made. Yes. But that's a great way to end it. Thank y'all so much for listening. Mother's House Podcast. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all comment. Tell us how you feel about everything we just said. Tell us how you feel about protesting. And tell us about how you feel about the realignment of the system. And that's it.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here.
Thank y'all. Peace.
Odabo.
Odabo.
So Big Floyd, man, he said, man, I'm back at it, man. Workout game, getting back on up, man. I went through some things, man. Had to bounce back, man. I'm just sharing right now. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, people quick to count you out, man, but just so strict on counting you in. One thing about old Floyd, man, I love the world. I ain't putting on X anybody that know me, then they know me. Because, like, people be acting like they be scared to embrace God, worrying about what the next man gonna say and all that. Man, you better get down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't here to show out and all that. This here just to motivate somebody who want to work out. They might need it, or whatever you're going through, man. Man, don't let Instagram fool you, man, and get you depressed looking at what other people doing and all that, man. I love you, man. Big Floyd, kill their own family.